now.
Okay, great. So does anybody have any questions that came up for them about anything about digital identities, search engine optimization, LinkedIn, Twitter, portfolios, anything? Yes, ma'am.
Can you delete connections in LinkedIn?
Yes, you can. So I'm going to repeat the questions just so that we're sure to capture them on the video. I have this handy mic right here. So the question is, once you connect with someone on LinkedIn, can you delete that connection down the line? Yes, you certainly can. And I have done it. And I can make those directions a part of our LinkedIn workshop next time around. Because there's a step-by-step process. You have to find this little button up here and then pull this menu down. And so.
Yeah, I was looking at that because you put your phone number, which is personal, on there.
You don't have to put your phone number. So the question is really about, and this is a great question because I think it's on a lot of people's minds when they think about joining a social network platform. How public do I want to be? What are my options in terms of privacy? So you absolutely do not have to share your phone number on LinkedIn. You determine everything that you share on LinkedIn. I don't share my phone number on LinkedIn. And so you can go back and delete that. But I know, especially in human service fields, we sometimes run into some problems with people who have stalking issues. And so there are lots of possibilities with LinkedIn about blocking users, about really thinking through how much public information you have about yourself. And that's certainly something that we'll talk about during our next LinkedIn session. We'll talk about privacy and how to delete people, how to block people, what to share, what not to share. Yeah, there are sort of 3 different levels of data that you share on LinkedIn, and we'll talk about what those are. Did I answer your question?
Yes, sir.
Great.
I was worried about privacy.
Right. A lot of people are with social media platforms, so I think that's a great thing to bring up. Yes?
So I've created a Twitter account some time ago for personal use.
Right.
And if I would like to switch that over to a more professional account, I'm assuming there are ways to do that, and I could change the associated email addresses and keep my Twitter handle.
Yeah, that is a really great question, so I'll repeat it. What if you're in a situation where you started a Twitter account a long time ago, several years ago, several months ago, and you used it for a while for personal use, and you'd like to kind of switch that account over to be used in service of your digital identity and as a professional? What can you do about that? How can you kind of repurpose that account? A super question, and in that way, Twitter is one of the best social media platforms around, because in Twitter you can change everything that you have ever done on Twitter. You can delete all your past tweets. Now, don't get super excited because your tweets possibly exist somewhere, but they will no longer exist on your Twitter profile, and so that's a great feature. You can also change your Twitter handle at will. And that is often not true in social media accounts. If you have a username, you can't ever change that username. You can open a new account, but you can't change that. In Twitter, you can always change your Twitter handle. You can always change the email address that you have associated with your Twitter account, the cell phone that you associate with your Twitter account. So yeah, Twitter is super helpful to people who are looking to repurpose an old account for a new purpose. And deleting all of those past tweets is probably the way to go. And you might decide that you want to change your Twitter handle, given that you maybe want your Twitter handle to match your email address, to match your portfolio URL, and that kind of thing. So yeah, Twitter is a really good tool on that front. That's a great question. Any other questions? So I'm going to go here, and then there.
I guess I was wondering, you selected LinkedIn, Twitter, and portfolios.
Yeah.
And another one, of course, is Facebook.
Yes.
It's been around for quite a while.
Yeah.
And I know I guess I'm just wanting to know maybe why
Right.
that wouldn't be part of a digital
Right,
identity.
right. That's such a good question. I'm so glad you brought it up. So the question is, why LinkedIn, Twitter, and ePortfolio? Why isn't Facebook a part of the trio of tools that we're using for digital identity? You can use Facebook in service of your digital identity, but the way that you would have to use Facebook to do that is a way that I think a lot of people are uncomfortable with. For most people, the default Facebook setting has a certain level of privacy. When you create a Facebook account, there's a certain level of privacy where people can't see your updates unless you are friends with them on Facebook. And so then, that default setting does almost nothing for your digital identity and search engine optimization. Now, I have my Facebook set so that my Facebook is completely public because I'm using my Facebook in service of my digital identity. And I want to have that tool. I am less concerned with privacy than the average bear. So a lot of people would not be comfortable with that at all. And so given that they want to have their Facebook account, and they want to be connected with their friends, and they want to publish their funny little joke pictures on Facebook, a lot of people want to keep that Facebook with a little bit of privacy. We often, in the industry, that's often called behind the garden wall. And so people often want to keep that. And so then it's not helpful in popping your name up the way you want it to. If you're willing to make your Facebook account public, then it is helpful in your digital identity. But most people aren't interested in that. And so that's why I don't offer it as sort of part of our toolkit. But it is a very good tool if you're willing to make it public. So, did I answer your question?
Yeah.
Great.
Sure, thank you.
Okay. You had a question?
Yeah, it seems like, I mean, it's a very individual process, but at
Right.
what point, if any, do you reach out to people to maybe like through writing like your summaries about yourself?
Sure.
How do you
Like,
bring others?
how can you get help with that?
Yeah.
Great. That's a really great question. So I'm going to repeat the question. Obviously, the process of creating your digital identity and opening these accounts and populating these accounts with information is really individual. One person might make one set of choices, another person might make another set of choices. But in a lot of these sites, you've got to write your byline, you've got to write a summary of yourself in LinkedIn. For your portfolio, you have to write your bio. How do you get help with that? And what are some tools to help you write those things in the best possible way? So in each of our deep dives, I will provide instructions for what to include in your summary, how to write a bio for your portfolio, there are about 5 different byline options for Twitter, things that people usually say in their Twitter byline. So I'll provide all of those pieces of information in the deep dive that we do. But the option of having some other people help you with that is a really great option. It's always a good idea when you're using, especially a site like LinkedIn or a portfolio where you're sort of marketing yourself with that summary or marketing yourself with that bio, to run it by a couple of people that you work with. Am I coming across in the right way? Having other people brief that stuff before you go ahead and post it is a great idea. I do have some resources that will help you write those things, but having some colleagues look at it is a great idea. You could always email me and I would help you. I have a couple of writing degrees. I might be of use. Right, does that help?
Yeah.
Okay, you had a question.
Yeah, actually, his question was one of my questions. But another question, how often do employers look at LinkedIn as a resource to hire an employee?
Oh, that's a great question.
Is it often?
Right.
And then part of that, just go that way.
Okay, that is a great question. I'm going to go ahead and repeat it. How often do employers use LinkedIn as a part of their hiring process? That's one of the things that we'll go over when we do our deep dive on LinkedIn. So LinkedIn has a couple of other features. It has really grown as a platform from when it first started. There are now LinkedIn groups that various professional organizations and people in that sphere use. So if you're a social worker, there are 500 different social work groups that you can join. More than 500, I'm sure. So there's generally at least one group for every profession. For most professions, there's going to be many groups. Employers really typically post jobs to those LinkedIn groups. If you Google using social media for recruitment, which is what employers are doing, they're recruiting employees. The use of social media for recruitment has just gone through the roof in the last 5 years. Employers are really relying on that heavily because that's where the people that they want to hire are spending their time. People don't look for jobs in the newspaper anymore. And so while there are fees for posting a job to monster.com, there's not a fee for posting a job to a group in LinkedIn. And so employers are using LinkedIn very heavily in their recruitment. And also employers are definitely Googling you and looking at your LinkedIn profile when they're trying to hire you specifically. Did I answer your question?
Completely, then
Okay.
I remembered what the rest
Okay.
of it was. So with the LinkedIn, when you give an employer your resume, should you also include that on your resume or in a cover letter?
Right. That's such a great
states
question.
That you have
Right.
LinkedIn account?
Right. So I'll repeat that question. When you give an employer your resume, should you include a link to your LinkedIn profile on your resume, or how should you do that? It's so rare these days to be handing an employer a paper resume. But if you are ever doing that, it's a lovely idea to include in the sort of header of your resume where your name is, where your email address is, to include, say, the URL for your portfolio, which on your contact page would have your LinkedIn profile. If you don't yet have a portfolio, you could certainly use the LinkedIn profile link. LinkedIn allows you to customize the URL for your profile page, so you can use whatever handle you want to for your URL, which is nice because then it shows up well when you're displaying it on a resume. The other thing that I always recommend that we'll talk about when we talk more about LinkedIn next week is keeping your resume in a Google Doc and making that Google Doc public, taking your street address off of your resume, because nobody was really going to send you mail ever again. So they really don't need your street address. So on your resume, you want to have your name, the city where you live, so that they know that you're living somewhere where you could drive to their company and have a job there. Right. You don't live in, say, New York when you're applying for a job in Portland. And then you want your email address, your phone. You want to think about whether you want your phone on there, if you want your phone to be public or not. Some people feel okay about that, some people don't. You can always include your phone number in your cover letter when you're applying for a job if you have your resume public and then don't want your phone number on your resume. And then if you have your portfolio URL or your LinkedIn profile URL at the top of your resume, and then the rest of your resume. And then on your LinkedIn profile, you have that space in your contact information where you can put lots of different URLs, and you can put the URL to your resume on your LinkedIn profile. And then when they're clicking on that link, now, 2 years from now, 5 years from now, they're always clicking to the most recent version of your resume because it's in a public Google Doc and you can update it anytime you want. So a much better option than attaching a PDF of your resume, because then they always have an old resume of yours. So using using a LinkedIn profile on your resume is a great idea. Having your resume online and linking to your resume from your LinkedIn profile is an even better idea. Am I helping?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
I figured it was very
Right,
beneficial, but I
right.
just wondered if that was
Yeah.
kosher with
Right,
employers.
definitely. Yeah, because they're going to get a lot of information from your LinkedIn profile that you're not going to have on your resume. So, yes.
This is a little outside of what you're talking about, but it's still kind of within the bigger box of this kind of world. Facebook just bought something called WhatsApp.
Right.
What is WhatsApp?
Yeah, that's a great question.
WhatsApp.
WhatsApp. What is WhatsApp?
What's up?
Right.
It's called WhatsApp.
So WhatsApp is a, I'm actually really surprised that nobody's done it before. It's basically a text message service that is free. So you have text messaging with your phone, and your phone has a little button on it that says messages, and you go in there and you message with people. Your phone could also have a little button on it for the WhatsApp app. And if you clicked on that button, you could message with people. And once you've bought their app, all of the messaging is free. And if you are a message person, you know that, like, I don't know how much I pay for unlimited messaging on my phone. I think it's probably $20 a month. But that's not the same as $1.99 for the WhatsApp app, and then free forever.
Okay.
So that's what WhatsApp is. That's why Facebook bought it.
So what they're really buying though are all the contacts for the rest of their life practice, right?
Right.
don't
I mean,
have that
Facebook
now.
is more interested in who you are and what you say and what they can sell to advertisers about you. But really, more than anything, Facebook is interested in being the place that you go in your digital life. And so if they can add WhatsApp to their features, I don't know anybody who isn't interested in free text messaging, you know? Especially if you have a teenager, you're really interested in not paying for their text messages. Because they
So
text
what they do
message
is they get that
more than,
information and can sell
Right.
that information to somebody.
right. But they're really interested in being the hub of your online life. They are interested in selling your information for advertisers, but Facebook membership is dying, and they need to drive people to their brand. And so they're driving people to their brand. And they paid